Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rudi and thank you so much for being here. So today's video is something I asked you guys about on my community tab, and most everybody said that they wanted to see this video, and that was a Q&A style video of me answering questions about tretinoin that I took actually on my TikTok account. The whole TikTok thing is truly like another world. Truly, it's another world from YouTube. Like, I have been a YouTube person since I was 13. Like, that is it's my jam. And I, was watching TikTok during quarantine and, I've gotten a little addicted to it.
Let me know if you can relate. Hands up if you can relate.
I just started kind of making them randomly. There was no theme of my content there. It was just like whatever I wanted. There are some drink recipes that my husband made on there. It's a whole thing. But then I was like, you know what? There are a lot of young people on TikTok who are probably using tretinoin and want to know more about it. And so I posted a TikTok, which I'll put up on the screen somewhere, basically saying, let me know if you have a question and I'll answer it. Because at the time I had 700 followers. I was like, I'll answer in a full video and give you a full answer. And I got a lot of questions. When it started out, I was just kind of building an interaction with these people. And then over time, I started getting so many questions that I could barely answer them. After that, I randomly had a TikTok go viral, a very stupid one. Really, the point of my TikTok is to help people and to help people understand how to use tretinoin. And the way we are on YouTube, same thing, except for I'm a little bit more focused directly on tretinoin over there, whereas on my YouTube, I like to post whatever I want. Anyways, this is getting very long-winded. I thought that it could be helpful for me to just quickly answer the questions that I did on my TikTok with you guys, because I know that there are a few of you who maybe haven't seen my routine videos or haven't seen my full year breakdown or my first video ever about tretinoin, and I know they're a little bit long. So I'm gonna just break down this video into chapters based on these questions. And if you wanna poke around and find whichever question you want, that's totally fine. If you have additional questions, let me know down in the comments. You guys know I'm always answering them. I'm happy to interact with you guys there. Also, please don't forget to subscribe before you leave. It helps me out so much and I would love to have you join. Question number 1 and 2 are kind of about the timeline of results. So question number 1, how long did it take for your skin to fully clear? So this is a convoluted question, because fully clear to me was oh God, I finished my purge and I'm finally starting to see good skin, which was probably 3 months. I do talk about this in my full videos if you want to know a more detailed timeline, but essentially my purge lasted about 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months, and it actually kind of waxed and waned based on my skincare routine and the fact that I was not wearing SPF during this time, which is absolutely insane and I should be killed for it. But I just didn't know. I was not into skincare the way that I am now, and I hadn't done a lot of research, which if you're watching this, I'm glad you are, because it is gonna be really helpful in the long run. So it took about 3 months for my skin to clear. And I like to tell people, I get the question a lot of how do I know if it's not working or if I'm still purging? And I would say a timeline that you should really stick to for that is anywhere between 3 and 6 months. So if you get to that mark and you're not seeing any improvement between the 3 and the 6 month mark, I would call your dermatologist to discuss next steps, to discuss your routine, the strength of your tretinoin, how often you're using it. There are so many factors that could go into why your skin is not handling it well. And so I would say at least stick it out for 3 months. And if you don't start to see improvements, then call your doctor. So the next question I also wanted to answer in conjunction with that question, which is how long did it take for you to see your best results? And I felt that that was a different question because my skin clearing was
hallelujah, thank God this is happening.
And when you have acne, when it starts to go away, it's just you feel amazing. However, there was a difference to me between my skin clearing and having my best skin. I would say that my best skin started to form around 10 months to a year on tretinoin. As I'm referencing, my past videos, if you want to know more about my percentage strength, how many nights a week I use it, all of that stuff is in those videos. But it took me about a year to start to notice those really significant changes in my skin, the glow, some of my oiliness starting to go away, my pores looking really clear, some of my hyperpigmentation starting to fade. Took a year at least. And it's just a drug that you have to be patient with. Unfortunately with acne, it's it's never an overnight cure. Like, no matter what anyone tells you, if you want real results, long-term results, it takes time. It takes patience, and I know it takes a lot of mental fortitude to go through that. I do have a video on my channel about getting through your purge and getting through sort of the worst parts of your acne in your mental state. I can link that up above. I think that it's important to take care of your mental health during this time because I know how hard it can be, but I would say it took about a year before I noticed like a huge difference in my skin and what I felt was like the best results. And the best thing about Tretinoin is it's just going to keep getting better. So I'm really looking forward to see how the next year goes. A lot of the questions that we're going to go through are also about product recommendations and all of that stuff. So the next one that I will look at is, my chin just keeps breaking out on Tret. How do you combat the pimples once they come to the surface? I actually have an entire video on my channel called How to Extract Pimples, and this is particularly relevant to Tretinoin people or Tretinoin routines because it's really important that we do not extract our pimples via a chemical exfoliator or by getting microdermabrasion or getting like a chemical peel at an esthetician's office. It's honestly better if you let it come to the surface on its own. So I can link that video up above, but honestly, the best thing that I can tell you is getting a pimple patch. So the CosRx hydrocolloid patches are my absolute favorite. They're literally just made of a material that helps with wound healing. And so once that pimple has come to the surface and you're seeing that whitehead and you're like, what do? I don't want to pick at it, which if you do pick at it, no judgment, okay? We've all done it. You're gonna put that patch on there after cleansing it, which I have the whole, routine detailed in that video. And the next day it should be almost flat. It's not gonna be 100% healed and there's still gonna be redness, but that patch is meant to help pull some of that sebum and bacteria out of your skin. And it absolutely saved me when I was going through my purge. They're really cheap too. They're like $4 for a pack of 25 of them. So absolutely my recommendation for pimples coming to the surface, how to deal with that. And I can link those products down below as well. Okay, next question. We can finish this one quickly. It's, what is your favorite moisturizer to use while using Tretinoin? And that is the CeraVe PM. The CeraVe PM was a recommendation from my dermatologist directly, and I think it's overlooked by a lot of people, and I don't know why, because it is amazing. Especially if you have oily skin, it's really made for people with oily skin. If you have dry skin, I don't know if it's gonna be enough for you. However, we can talk about a recommendation for you as well. The PM lotion has 4% niacinamide in it. It's fragrance free. It's non-comedogenic, oil free. It's just a really nice occlusive layer that doesn't have anything irritating in it to counteract or, irritate your skin while you're using Tretinoin. Also, just because it says PM, it doesn't mean that you only have to use it at night. You can also use PM in the morning underneath a sunscreen if you feel like you need a couple layers of moisturizer. I've done that before many times. It's like a nice in between a gel and a cream, and I just absolutely love it. I highly recommend you try it out. If you need something a little bit thicker, I think the CeraVe moisturizing cream is actually great for dry skin. Even though it is technically made for the body, it works just as well on the face. Sarah Perkins on YouTube here actually uses that within her Tretinoin routine. I can link her channel down below, and she loves it very much. So honestly, like, the dermatologist recommended moisturizers, especially when you're trying out, are gonna be the best. You wanna avoid irritating ingredients, you wanna avoid chemical exfoliators, you wanna avoid vitamin C, which we'll get to later, and just try and stick to the basics because Tretinoin is gonna be doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Okay, so this was my favorite question that I got out of all of them, which was, as your skin has improved from Tretinoin, have you had to change other products or aspects of your routine? And I thought that was a really thoughtful question because I think a lot of people are so focused on getting their acne cleared with Tretinoin that they forget that there are other aspects of your skin that are gonna change, and you kind of have to adapt and adjust your routine and the way that you have a relationship with your skin because it's changing so often. So I'm a very oily person, but over time that has started to dwindle down while I've been on Tretinoin, and I've also changed my makeup routine like 100%, which was kind of hard for me because I am a huge makeup lover. I have a couple videos on my channel talking about the best makeup for people who have acne prone skin, and I used to be like a very powder only person because I was so oily. And as I've gotten into using Tretinoin longer and longer, I find that cream products just look better on my skin, and not using powders really look more natural because your skin is, it's going to change in a way that is good, but it's different than what you are used to. So you have to find those products that are really gonna make you feel confident regardless of if that's powder or cream. However, I will say that I think that a lot of people who are on tretinoin have good luck with using cream products because your skin is looking really fresh and dewy naturally. So having a more like natural makeup look to me is what just fit the bill. Whereas I used to be a lot more like powdery, like heavier makeup. Nothing wrong with that, but now I think that a lighter coverage look looks better just because I want to show off my skin. So in short, yes, everything has changed and I'm learning every day. Okay, so let's talk about you guys that have dealt with peeling and dry skin. So Janet asks, my doctor prescribed tretinoin for me. I'm not afraid of the purging process, but the dry, irritated, sensitive skin drives me crazy. What can help with that? So as I've mentioned in my results videos, I never had dry peeling skin because I just had super oily skin and I took it really low and slow, meaning I had a very low percentage and I started to build it into my routine like once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week so that I wouldn't deal with like excessive peeling and drying. So that's one thing that I would recommend is kind of cutting down on the number of days that you're using it or talking to your doctor about the strength and telling them like, you know, the symptoms and the side effects that I'm dealing with are just like too severe and we need to come up with a new plan. That's one way to go about it. But if you feel like you're starting to see results and you're just irritated with this dryness, there are a few things you can do. One is take a look at your routine and see, are you using humectant style products to really lock in moisture? Are you using an inclusive layer on top of that? So something that's really going to keep all of that moisture in, so like a nice thick moisturizer. And then my last tip would be using an ointment on top of that. So I like to use the Vanaplyte ointment. I've talked about it on this channel up and down. And also the CeraVe Healing Ointment. I've started to incorporate into my routine around my mouth where I get really dry. So that is something that I highly recommend, especially the CeraVe Healing Ointment because it does include those like typical ceramides that CeraVe always has in their products. Really, really great stuff. And I think it will help you a lot with your like chafing and dry skin. The next question is, what is the best sunscreen that I recommend while on tretinoin? And I have a few for you, but I will tell you my absolute favorite and the one that I use literally every single day. And you guys probably already know what that is. I'll pop in a picture of it. It is the Paula's Choice SPF Daily Wrinkle Defense in the blue bottle. It's an SPF 30 and it is a mineral tinted sunscreen. I can also link my morning routine up above and down below where I really go into depth about this product and it's just my absolute favorite. I prefer a mineral sunscreen just because I feel like with sensitive skin, they tend to do a little bit better, but I have a few options that we can talk about, mineral and chemical. So beyond the Paula's Choice, which I 100% recommend, I understand why it may not work for you if you have dark skin. You know, mineral sunscreens tend to have a white cast, and with it being like a very neutral to light colored tint, you may not like that. My recommendation for you would be the Purito Unscented Centella Green Level sunscreen. So this is a Korean sunscreen. You can find it on Amazon, you can find it on Stylovana, Soko Glam, Yes Style, like there are a million places that you can get this that are legit. I can link a few of them down below. This has amazing reviews. I have tried it before. I think it's really, really nice. It's not going to bother your skin. It's unscented. It's a really, really nice one. I also recommend the Comfy Water from Purito, which may be better suited for dry skin. It's very similar. It's a great brand. They know what they're doing with SPF. There's also the Beet Shield from Crave Beauty. People love that. I believe that it is a chemical sunscreen, but it has amazing reviews, so definitely check that one out. And then also probably my second recommendation after Paula's Choice would be the Elta MD sunscreen. It's very, very similar. You get more bang for your buck with that. They have a tinted and untinted version, so I can leave the list of all of those down below. Highly recommend all of them. So on TikTok, this is a question I got a lot. I think just because TikTok tends to skew younger with the people that are on that app. And that question is, can I start at 20 years old or will that age my skin? So I got this question a ton. Not necessarily can I start at 20 years old, but like when can I start? I'm 17, am I too young to start? I'm 15, can I start? And you're gonna hear a lot of different things from a lot of different people, but this is my opinion on it. And I should preface this entire video by saying I'm not a dermatologist. Like, I am someone who has been on tretinoin for a year and has done a copious amount of research, and sometimes I feel like it's easier to hear it from someone who's gone through it / is going through it rather than a doctor or a dermatologist or someone random that is just kind of spewing info but has never tried it. So that's kind of where I stand in this line, and this is my personal opinion on like the age and the retinol situation. And if we are going to reference anyone, you know, for facts in this video, it's definitely going to be Dr. Dre, who just uploaded a video recently about starting retinol too young or etc. And there's really no proof to show that starting it too young will age your skin. In fact, it's turning over the cells in your skin, so it's keeping your skin looking quote unquote younger because you're not able to develop wrinkles, fine lines, etc. However, if we dig into the meat of this question, it depends really on what you want to use it for. If you have acne, you have severe acne, and you've tried salicylic acid, you've tried benzoyl peroxide, you know, like the normal routines to try and get rid of your acne, I think that any age can really start tretinoin, especially if you're being prescribed it from your dermatologist, because you're using it as an acne medication and you're using it to get rid of your acne. Will you have positive side effects that come with anti-aging benefits? Yes. Is that something I think you should focus on at this age? Personally, no. I think that the societal construct of trying to stay young forever is just silly. It's silly. We should be excited and happy and grateful that we are able to get older, because a lot of people are not. I understand that looking pretty is something that our society has pushed on people, and I'm not saying that I'm mad about the benefits of tretinoin when it comes to anti-aging. I'm definitely not mad about them. But at the age of 20, I really hope and pray that that's not something that you're worried about at this point. And I know that there are preventative measures, but honestly, I don't think that you need to dabble into the dark arts of, you know, anti-aging until your late 20s, early 30s. That's my personal opinion. Take that with a grain of salt. I think if it's for acne, 100%. If you're trying to use it for anti-aging, it's a process. It's a really, you know, finicky drug. And if you plan on using it for the rest of your life, maybe. But if you want to use it just for like a year or two, it's not worth it. Get on a retinol when you're 25 or 30 and then, you know, work your way up from there. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Okay, the next question is, can you use vitamin C on days you're not using Tret or in the morning after you're using it? So I got this question a lot, and I also got questions, you know, we'll talk about this next, about chemical exfoliators or like all these other things. Like, can I incorporate these other things into my routine? And I have an opinion on that as well, of course. I personally have tried to narrow down my routine to be very, you know, small and really focused on hydrating and building up my skin barrier on nights that I'm not using tretinoin, because I want to let tretinoin do all of the heavy lifting for me, and I want to see how much it can do without adding in additional products. That's my opinion. I prefer to let tretinoin really do its job and not interfere by adding additional active ingredients or brightening ingredients or unstable ingredients like vitamin C. That's just me. However, I know that people really are addicted and obsessed with vitamin C, and I do know people who use it on nights they're not using tretinoin. In the morning, I don't know a ton about vitamin C, like the actual molecular structure, but I know that it's very unstable and that it is photosensitive. So if you are going to use it during the day, you absolutely have to use an SPF with it, because one, you should already be using one because tretinoin makes your skin crazy. Adding a vitamin C on top of that is going to make your skin even more susceptible to sunburn. So I don't personally recommend it, but if that's something that you are addicted to and feel like you want to do, just don't use it on the same night as tretinoin. They don't mix well together. No, don't do it. And then if you want to use it on an off night, sure, try it. Over time, tretinoin is going to help with your hyperpigmentation. It's going to take time, like a year plus, and I'm on a very low percentage. So I started seeing results about a year in with my hyperpigmentation. It does take time, but it works. It absolutely works. So I understand wanting to speed up that process, but as I mentioned, like low and slow, baby. That's just me. Okay, so the last question I'm going to answer is also a super common one I get all the time, which is, if I use tretinoin, when can I use a chemical exfoliant? Once again, I say, do you really need one? I think that we become like so addicted to using specific skincare products, like for example, the Paula's Choice BHA. I was the same way. I felt like I literally couldn't live without it. I used to buy a mini pack of it because I had to take it with me everywhere, like when I traveled, which I just had a traveling pack with me video, which I talked about that. I can link that up above. You know, one day I realized like I am using the top dog Retin-A, like a medication that people would die to be using. Why am I not letting it like fully do its work for me? Like
Work, tretinoin, work.
And it absolutely has. Like, I will maybe chemically exfoliate my skin like once a month, maybe. And that's if I feel like there's a lot of buildup, like probably more in the summer. But I really don't feel the need to because tretinoin is turning over the cells in my skin way faster than its normal 28-day cycle. And so I just don't feel the need to because my skin and my pores are not clogged. And it may take time to get to the point where you feel like you don't want to use it anymore, but just know that the more active ingredients you put into your routine, the harder it's going to be for your skin to fight off that irritation and sensitivity that comes with using tretinoin. And everyone's skin is different. I know some people who use tretinoin and chemical exfoliants on off nights. Do not use them on the same night. Please God, do not use them on the same night. And they have no problem with it. I personally have sensitive skin. I try to avoid, having them together or at all really. And that's just what works for me. Give tretinoin a chance. See what it can do for you without all the additional products. And also we become addicted to these products, but we need to really ask ourselves why. Because if this one drug can do it all for us, why wouldn't we want that, Okay, that is all I have time for today, but I am always answering questions on my TikTok, so if you want to follow me on there, feel free to, but I always answer questions in the comments of these videos as well. Let me know if you liked this style of video. I could probably do more like this if you did. I know it was a little bit impromptu style, more laid back, which is not really me, but if you liked it, let me know. We've got some more really fun videos coming up for the holidays, so stick around and I will see you guys in the next one really soon. Bye.